I'm gonna start with who he is, because before the fame, before the records, before any of that,
That's so sweet. Oh my. So quiet, smile.
this moment told us everything. He just came home from a full federal bid, and the very first thing he did, before flexing, before interviews, before anything, was buy his mama a $1.1 million house. No cap. Still on an ankle monitor, still on home confinement. And the footage of Mama Shiesty breaking down in tears, that moment didn't just go viral, it broke the internet. Before we talk about the come-up, the fed time, the bars, or the struggle,
It smiles.
we got to address the elephant in the room. The clip that had every hood, every blog, every comment section on every platform losing their minds. Because think about it, this is the same dude who not long ago was sitting in a federal cell, scratching days off a wall. And now, he's standing in front of his mother, handing her the keys to $1 million home. So let me walk you through exactly how this went down, step by step, because the way this was executed was chef's kiss levels of precision. He didn't just buy the house and toss her the keys over breakfast. Nah, this was planned, calculated, surgical. He linked up with a luxury real estate agent who specializes in high-end properties, and together they handled everything behind the scenes, quietly, professionally, airtight. She later posted about it herself, thanking him for trusting her with such a personal move. That alone tells you something. This wasn't impulse spending, this was a boss move. The videos hit Instagram on February 3, 2026. Within hours, every major hip-hop outlet was running it. Blogs, TikTok, X, everywhere. But what really hit people wasn't the price tag, it was the emotion. Because that kind of reaction, you can't fake it, you can't manufacture it. Mama Shiesty walks through the front door in a bright pink outfit, steps into the kitchen, takes one look around, and completely breaks down. Covers her face, full-on happy tears. That's not just joy, that's decades of struggle releasing all at once. That's a mother who's been through hell and back, realizing her son didn't just survive, he made it, not just in music, as a man. Now, the family's been low-key about the details of the house, and honestly, that deserves respect.
Good, man. I'm feeling like, a lot of mixed feelings. Happy, same time, like excited. It's a couple different mixed feelings. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of pressure, but same time, like, it's a lot of like anticipation for real.
This isn't MTV Cribs, this is a personal gift for somebody's mother. But from what we've seen, the place is beautiful. Based on comparable properties, the home is estimated around 3,000 to 4,000 square feet, likely 4 to 5 bedrooms, ensuite bathrooms, modern finishes throughout. People online been speculating about a home gym, outdoor entertainment space, multi-car garage, but none of that's confirmed. What is confirmed is this. This is a massive upgrade. When you remember where this family came from, the Cane Creek apartments, the struggle, the block, the trap, $1 million home with clean lines and a peaceful atmosphere feels like a whole different universe. That's a glow-up in its purest form. That's generational progress captured in 4 walls and a roof. And let's talk about the intelligence behind this move.
Just believes, then you got strong believers. Like they been counting on me. They already knew, like when people doubted, they knew, like, this little dude for real, like he who he is, so I'ma produce every time. I can't fumble it. I can't fumble. Couple dudes like that was like, help me with my whole like start and how I think and how I look at the music game. So like I mentioned Dirk in there, I mentioned Gotti in there, mentioned a couple dudes.
Because he's still under federal supervision, the ankle monitor is active, but he navigated everything clean, worked with professionals, handled the transaction properly, and delivered. No issues. That's not reckless spending, that's calculated deployment of the bag. Real ones know the code. When you touch real money, you secure your bloodline. You buy your mama a house, period. And this wasn't even the first time. Back in 2021, after the devastating loss of his brother, who passed away from brain cancer at just 27, he bought his mother a home as an act of love and healing. He posted that moment online too. That was the first chapter. This $1.1 million home, this is the level up. This is him telling his mama, everything we went through, the pain, the separation, the fed time, it was worth it. Look where we are now. So the real question becomes, how did we get here?
How does a kid from the most dangerous corners of Memphis go from SoundCloud dreams to platinum records and million-dollar real estate? How does he survive the federal system without losing himself? That's where the real story begins. Because this isn't just a success story, it's a movie. Born November 8, 1999, he didn't grow up with a safety net. No silver spoon, no trust fund. He came straight out of the Cane Creek apartments in South Memphis, and anyone who knows that side of the city knows what that means. That's the kind of place where you learn to watch your back before you learn your ABCs. Memphis is legendary for music and culture.
Good habits I picked up in there. Yeah, some I got to tighten up some more, but, for sure, like working out, there's one. Never worked out before, never. But working out, there's one. Reading, I wasn't just too much of a fan of picking up books, but I read all day long. But reading, I got my reading game up in there.
But it's also one of the most dangerous cities in America, and South Memphis sits right in the middle of that pressure. His father was a local rapper and street figure, deeply involved in the game. Federal raids, weapons, drugs. By the time he was 4 years old, the system had already entered his life. The trap was the classroom. The streets were the textbook. And through it all stood his mother, the same woman we just watched cry in that kitchen, the backbone, the protector, the one who kept the family together when everything else fell apart. She taught him resilience, loyalty, survival, lessons that would later save his life. She even moved him out of Memphis for a while, trying to give him a fresh start, but the city called him back, and eventually, music became the exit.
On how to choose between rational and irrational decisions, just decision making and thinking before I act, working on my temper. It's a lot of knowing how to communicate. I learned how to communicate better. It's a lot of good things, you can see the good in situations.
When he started rapping seriously, it was different. The pain was real. The stories were lived. Every bar carried weight. By the time the industry noticed, it was already too late. The streets had chosen him. And when the deal finally came, everything changed. But that's a story for the next chapter. Because what we just witnessed, buying his mama $1 million home, wasn't just a flex. It was a full circle moment, and it told us exactly who he is.
That record didn't just go viral. It went 8 times platinum, ran up over 400 million views on YouTube, and cracked the top 15 on Billboard. From the same kid who was ducking bullets in Cane Creek not long before that. An anthem was born, and the whole decade felt it. In his own words during an XXL interview, he talked about what that moment meant to him, how unreal it felt watching a song change his life in real time. Then February 2021 hit, and the momentum didn't slow down at all. His debut mixtape, Shiesty Season, debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, going platinum and spawning multiple hit singles. Neighbors with Big 30 went multi-platinum. Guard Up kept the streets fed. Then came the Deluxe, loaded with industry names, bigger looks, wider reach. By 21 years old, he landed the XXL freshman class, picked up a BET Hip Hop Awards nomination, and Memphis crowned him its new king. The industry was watching.
Words of wisdom from somebody that been in it, you know what I'm saying, and know it firsthand. That ain't what's up in there, bro. All the image and the facades and the faking and the street notoriety, that is not worth it. Ain't nothing worth leaving this and going in there. And ain't nothing worth not leaving that in there, coming back out here, you know what I'm saying? So just stay focused, man, get this money and keep working and take care of this opportunity that we got to provide for all our people.
The city was behind him. Everything was lining up. But if you know rap history, you already know how this part goes. The same streets that build you can pull you back in just as fast. One wrong moment, one bad decision, one slip. And for him, the fall came quick. On October 13th, 2020, Weeks before Back in Blood would explode worldwide, he caught a case in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. Armed robbery, aggravated assault, battery, theft. A shooting tied to a sneaker deal that went completely left. 2 people were injured, and instantly a dark cloud hung over what should have been the biggest victory lap in Memphis rap history. Imagine that. Your biggest song hasn't even dropped yet, and instead of celebrating, you're sitting in a holding cell trying to understand how everything spiraled so fast. Then, June 2021, another arrest, this time connected to a shooting at a Miami strip club, held without bond even after the victim recanted. The pressure kept stacking. By January 2022, the federal government stepped in.
He pled guilty to firearms conspiracy tied to violent and drug-related crimes, avoiding what could have been a life sentence. In April 2022, the judge handed down 63 months in federal prison. He was sent to USP Canaan. Court documents from that time showed his net worth at roughly $3.4 million. Royalties, advances, assets, all earned during that insane run. Then came another hit, a $1 million restitution order in 2023 for the victim's medical expenses. So he didn't just lose his freedom, he lost a serious chunk of his money too. The hottest rapper in the country was gone. No shows, no features, no studio sessions. Just gray walls, head counts, and time moving slow. And the pain didn't stop at the prison gates. While he was locked up, his brother Terrence Henderson passed away from brain cancer at just 27 years old. Then his cousin Big Scar, another rising artist from the same camp, also passed. He couldn't attend either funeral, couldn't say goodbye, couldn't be there for his family. That kind of loss doesn't heal just because you come home. So the question everyone was asking, from blogs to barbershops, was simple. Would he survive this? Would the system break him like it's broken so many before? As we now know, the answer is no. Not only did he survive, he came back sharper, smarter, and more focused than ever. When we left off, he was serving over 5 years at USP Canaan. That's a long stretch, especially for someone who had the entire rap game in his hands at 21. Most people lose themselves in there, but he flipped it. He turned the cell into a classroom, the bid into boot camp. He admitted that before prison, he never worked out, never read books, never slowed down enough to think. He came out physically stronger, mentally disciplined, and emotionally grounded. That's not growth, that's evolution. He talked openly about learning to control his temper, improve decision-making, and communicate better. This wasn't the same kid who caught those cases in Florida. This was a grown man who sat with his mistakes and came out with a blueprint. And through it all, one person never left his side. His mother, Gladys. She visited him on his birthday, went live on his Instagram to keep his fans connected. And when his release got close, she rented a Sprinter van to bring him home properly. That's loyalty you can't buy. On October 6, 2025, he walked out early on good behavior and transitioned into home confinement. And by December 12th, he was already back to work, dropping FDO, First Day Out. The song debuted at number 22, peaked at number 12 on the Hot 100, and pulled 3 million views in one day, his highest charting solo record ever. Message received. So now, with his net worth back around 3.5 million, home confinement ending April 11, 2026, and Memphis fully behind him, the picture is clear. This isn't a comeback, it's a continuation. From Cane Creek to the feds, from the feds back to the charts, from an ankle monitor to a $1 million home for his mama. That house isn't just real estate, it's every tear his mother cried, every prayer she whispered, every bar he wrote on scraps of paper in a federal cell. That's the receipt. And if this story moved you, you already know what to do. Like the video, subscribe, and drop a comment. When you make it, what's the first thing you're doing for your mama? Because this ain't about clout, it's about loyalty. That's the real flex.